way. Got a little box Chevy. Kind of typical deal. Got to fit the rims. Got to get the rear end squared away. All right, so this is the rear end we're building. And I know I've showed y'all this before, but I'm gonna show you again, just to kind of help people out that don't remember. That's the new ring and pinion. So anybody who does rear end jobs knows you got to take this bearing off 1,000,000 times. So the best thing you can do is, if you got an old spare bearing, or even the one that come off of, you can get it off without tearing it up, just dremel the inside of that bearing out, and then you can just slide it in and out. And then that way, when you do your mock setup, because to get these things right, you know, you may set them up 2 or 3 times, but that way it kind of help you get started in the right direction. Then you got to do the same thing on the outer bearing, but that'll help you keep from destroying bearings and getting the setup wrong and messing your crush sleeve up and having to buy everything and start over. Alright, so we got the rear end back together. Let me show y'all what we got here. Alright, so there's your pattern right there. You always want to try to be in the middle of the tooth. I mean, if possible. I mean, sometimes, like a lot of these gears, they'll run them and lap them. This particular gear, I don't really know what brand it is, but they didn't run this gear and lap it, which I don't really like, but it's just kind of part of it. But so always try to get your pattern in the middle. Like I said, that's why we use that setup deal. And then always check your backlash. And if you look right here, it'll tell you how much backlash they want, what they want on the gear. And you want to check your backlash in 2 or 3 spots, just because, you know, you may check it right here, spin the thing around, and it may be tighter. So just check it in 3 spots, and that'll kind of help you out. And like I said, it'll make the gear last a little longer when you set it up. And just, you know, you want to make sure it turns smooth, everything turns smooth. You don't want nothing tight. So if it doesn't turn smooth, or it feels kind of notchy when you spin it, then something's wrong. So just kind of keep that in mind. There we go. Something to kind of remember on these when you're doing these ends, you want to bevel the end of it. You can do it with a grinder, you know, we got the lathe or whatever, but you can do it with a grinder. But the reason you want to do that is you want to bevel this end, and you want to bevel the other end where it goes into the axle housing. Because if you don't bevel that, you're just doing like a butt weld basically. It's not that strong. But if you bevel this piece, it actually gives you more surface area for the weld to attach to. And so it's going to just be stronger. It makes the end piece, you know, a little bit better. It won't break on you when you're going on the road. So just kind of try to remember that. You always want to bevel the end of them. Alright, so we're trying to get the box going. Like I said, you can see we got the wheels on it. But when we first put them on there, we got to looking and notice, you know, it didn't fit right. So like I said, the customer brought us the wheels and the axles and kind of had it figured out how much it was going to need to be shortened. But come to find out, when they assembled these wheels, this is the front wheel. You can see it's got the shallow hub. So basically what they did is they put our centers, this center section goes in our rear hub, our rear barrels. You see here it's taller. See the difference? So what we're having to do is now we got to take the wheels back apart and swap the centers from the front to the rear. Kind of part of the deal, but just sucks. You get the car all the way put together, and that's kind of the little problems you run into, like I said, because we didn't catch it right away until we sat the wheels on it. But when they assembled the wheels from the manufacturer, they put the wrong centers in the rear drums, but we'll get it straightened out. All right, there you go. That's what a send over it out right there. You see basically how it works. They look good.